Hello, welcome to The Agent is In. Um, Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to have an intro to using, and then my Zoom session has weird things in the windows, so it covers up CF Secret. I thought that was funny. It's a secret. So we're going to talk about CF Secret, which is a thing that we got into our product a little while ago that allows us to encrypt and decrypt things targeted towards primarily hosts that are supporting CFEngine. And my name is Craig Comstock. I'm a CF engineer. Digger is my title that I chose. And who else do we have here? Your other people, announce yourself or as you wish.
I'm Nick. I'm doer of things. Yeah, lots of CFEngine stuff, technically.
And I'm Cody. I am more on the sales and marketing side.
And Herman is our nice guest today. He's our product manager.
Yes. Okay, cool. So shall we get started? Does anybody want to talk about CF Secret before I get started?
I mean,
I'll just start. So another question I would ask is, are we interested in seeing how to set up a Lux formatted drive, or can we skip that part? What do you think?
it'll be a short meeting if we skip that part. I
Okay,
definitely
let's not
would
skip
like
that
to
part.
see it though.
Okay, so let's do this. So I'm on this. Let's see. Oh, that should be root, I guess. I can't type my password in. Okay. Oh dear. I just can't type my password in at all. There we go. Okay. Let's see, grep for Lenovo. Yeah, it's a Lenovo machine. And then as Nick and I have talked about, we like to name our computers after what they are, the model number. So this is W500. It's an old ThinkPad with the screen ripped off because the hinges started to break. So I just have it plugged into a monitor, and mostly just headless because I like to reuse hardware. So we have on this, I've got a backup drive that I use that I send all my backups from various machines to that central backup hard drive. I'm kind of working through how to do backups kind of with rsync and do restores and stuff. I don't really like to use products. I like to just write things. So this part of the story is that I've got this hub here, and I've got CFEngine Enterprise Hub installed on this machine. And I want the backup drive to auto mount and open up. So in order to do that, typically you have to type a passphrase. So this machine, this W500 machine, when I turn it on, I have to type in a passphrase too, because it's got full disk encryption. And then additionally, I need the passphrase for this backup drive. So I'm going to use CF Secret to encrypt the passphrase for the backup drive to a file that only essentially CFEngine, aka root at this host, can decrypt because we encrypt it to the host key. So if we look at CF key and then var CFEngine pp keys localhost, we've got a pub and priv key pair there, and so it's encrypted to that set of keys, which is only available to root. Okay, so what I've got is I've got a hard drive. This SDB is there. Right now it's mounted, so I'm going to unmount it. I'm going to close it. You need to close it. Okay, so now then what I'll do is I'll fdisk. So this is what you would do if you're just starting kind of fresh. You would create whatever partition scheme you want, and you make one of them a Linux type. You can also do LVM, Linux Volume Manager. Is it Linux Volume Manager? I don't know if the L stands. Logical, of course. Yeah, something non-Linux. But I'm not too familiar with LVM. I usually just let the installer of Linux distribution do that for me, but I'm starting to learn. So anyway, I did it with just a simple partition. And then in order to set it up, I do crypt setup looks format dev SDB1.
Set up?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't hit tab. You should always hit tab. Okay, are you sure? Type yes in capital letters. Oh, capital letters, right. Gosh, okay. And now the passphrase. So you type it in, and I will be sharing this passphrase in a moment because, you know, so hopefully I typed it in the same twice. I thought about automating this part of the setup, but I figured, nah. Okay, so then now what I need to do is I need to open up that encrypted. So I give it, okay, so now I have to type in the password again, passphrase. Okay, so now it's opened up. Oh, did I not? You mount it? Oh,
You
okay.
didn't-
I thought I closed it. Crypt. Okay. Okay, that's better. All right, so I guess I didn't close it. Okay, so then, oh, that's right. I opened it to format it, and then I needed to close it again. Okay, so now I can mount dev mapper. So when you do this looks open with the device, you give it a mapping name, and then that mapping name gets over here in dev mapper, and then you can mount that. Or did I mess it up? I think I messed it up somehow. Let's try that again. So let's see, mount is not there. Crypt setup, looks close, crypt. And then from here, I'm going to do a much shorter passphrase. I wonder if it'll accept a short passphrase. Yes, short. That's the passphrase, short. That's about the worst passphrase ever. It's not really a passphrase, is it?
I mean, it's more of a password.
Indeed. Okay, so do that, and then so I did the looks format. Now I need to open it. Looks open.
Did you close it
Yeah.
after? Or you
I
have to
think
open it?
I think the problem is that I didn't. Did I do what? Go ahead and say that again.
Well, it errored before I thought when you tried to open after formatting. But
Right. So I'll do that. I'll
There we
do
go.
that, and then now.
But this is not the part that you're trying to use CFEngine for.
No. It isn't. So you chose this path, and I accept it. Okay, so I mount it. Okay, great. So now I've got it. Okay, so then this is secret. Need encrypt. Read me. Okay, and so now I have it set up. Then I can use it and do various things. And now what I need to do is I need to encrypt this passphrase short so that CFEngine can play with it. So CF secret decrypt or CF secret decrypt or encrypt, sorry, encrypt, and then I want to output that to a file.
You're missing a leading slash. Oh, I guess it might be relative to.
No,
here.
it's relative, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll do oh right, and then a dash at the end for standard in, and then short, and then do that. Okay, so then I can check that it works with decrypt. Now this actually won't work here because it's encrypted to that key that root knows about, and I'm just a plain old non-privileged user here. So if I try to decrypt that, I shouldn't be able to. Output dash.
I think you're
Oh.
using master.
Oh, you know what I did? I didn't send it, I didn't encrypt it to that key.
No,
Okay.
it encrypted
Okay.
by default to your
Yeah,
user.
I encrypted to myself. Yeah. Right. Okay, good enough. Well, let's do it with root. So I'll just do it over here. Yes, play home encrypted secret. That was the problem. Okay, so then that short. Okay, boom. Now, and I'll just Craig, Craig. And you notice I am using CFBS to do this, so we'll kind of get that in there a little bit. Okay, so that's owned by that. And now if I try to decrypt it, it'll say Nope, it's not encrypted to host this SHA, this host key, which essentially is my non-privileged host key.
Can you cat the head of the file, the encrypted file?
Yeah.
Like-
Let's see. Secret.
Yeah, so there's some header information in here too,
Right.
which kind of tells us the same thing.
Right.
Like,
And so if I go over here and do CF key -P, I'll see that it's yeah, it's encrypted for this host key. So now if I do CF secret decrypt encrypted secret output dash. So root can get it, but my non-priv user cannot. Okay. And then I made a kind of a module here. And let's see. Let me move this off to the side. Oop,
comma.
I know. Thank you. Okay, so encrypted backup drive. Okay, so bundle agent encrypted backup drive, and I'm going to make this a an auto services thing, an auto run service rather. And then let's see, some things that I want to talk about here are passphrase file is going to be at this.promise dir name. It's going to be right next to it. Slash this dot, whoops, capitals, this dot bundle, CF secret. Okay, so that's the file that I saved it at. The device, like I said, like I didn't do the fancy UUID detection, so we'll just do hard coded. The mapping name is going to be crypt, because that's just a name. It doesn't mean anything necessarily. The mount point that I want is going to be media crypt. And then secret file is that file that I made on there that has the text in it. It's the README. Okay, so what do I need to do here? One thing I'd like to know is looks opened. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to run a command. 0 dm setup info mapping name. And that will tell me if that mapping is active. And I'm going to use shell so that I don't have to specify the path of the executable. Also, I'd like to know if the crypt thing is mounted. So I'll run a command for that too. Mount, grab, quiet, mount point. Use shell again because it's easy. And then let's just do some reports about that. So device with mapping name was not opened yet. And crypt mounted. Looks mapping name is not mounted at mount point. Okay, so that's my policy so far. Let's see if that works. I'm going to go back a couple directories here. I had previously done like a CFBS add that directory is what I've done. And it's already added. I guess I could remove it, but I don't think I will. I'll just leave it like that. I have a little iteration script here, which runs CFS build. It runs CF promises on the resulting promises and update. So CFS build will create a master files for me out of all the modules that I have and put it into out master files. And then I sudo CFBS install because I'm just doing it right here on the hub. And then I do an update. So I'll run that script. Whoops. Okay, so I have lots of modules. Pretty much all of the modules from Advent Calendar that we did recently are there. And I run into a few errors when I run CF promises as a non-privileged user, but that's kind of not so crazy. Okay, so here I have an iteration script for root where I run CFEngine with just that one bundle, and then I cat out the contents of that file to see if it's there. So I'll run this, and I think it's already mounted and everything, so it probably won't say anything, and it'll just work. Yeah, so it's there. Now, what if I unmount MediaCrypt and run that again? It should report that it's not mounted. Yeah, it looks map encrypt is not mounted. It's not going to fix anything yet because we haven't written that yet. And then if I do crypt setup looks close crypt, it should tell me the two things that are wrong, which is it's not mounted and it's not opened. Yeah, so dev SW1 is map encrypt. It's not opened yet. Okay, so let's get back into this stuff and start fixing things. Based on, let's see, so a couple things that I'd like to do also are make a files promise, which copies over the passphrase file. This is kind of a bit of a hack, but it works.
So that file's not distributed by default, based on the
Right.
file extension.
Right, exactly. Okay, so that copies the file from my master files over to inputs, basically. And then the other thing I want to do, just to be sure, is I want to make sure the mount point is there in case it's not. Okay, so we can see, do I have, is it mounted right now? Encrypt. No. Okay, so I can armdir MediaCrypt. That's the first thing that we fixed, so to speak. And I need to run this iteration script to rebuild master files and deploy it locally. And that's done. And then I'll rerun this over here. It'll run that one thing, and it should tell me that it fixed the directory. Yeah, create directory, MediaCrypt, and then those two things are still wrong. We haven't fixed those things yet. Okay, so to fix those things, we need to run some commands. First, if looks isn't opened, then we need to open it. And to do that, we need the passphrase. Passphrase file, output, and then pipe it to crypt setup, looks open, device, mapping, name. And then I want to know if that was repaired, how it's doing. So I'll make a results. And then I don't want to specify the path to things, so I'll say in shell.
You
Also
need in shell for a pipe.
Exactly, right, because it's a shell command, right, exactly. So then if it's not mounted and it's either is already opened based on the test, or looks open repaired, it was repaired, fixed, then I want to run another command which mounts it. So dev mapper mapping name, and then at the mount point. And again, for this, might as well make some classes about what happened, so I can use that later if I want to. And again, this one I don't really have to do in shell, but actually I see.
Wow.
Ain't. There we go. So those are the commands. I could write some reports, but I think I'm gonna skip it for now. And I'm gonna run this again, build it, deploy it. Okay, that's done. And then run this again and see where we get. Okay, so it's opening it and it mounted it, and look, it's actually there.
Nice.
So it opened it up. So if I unmount it, encrypt, if I crypt setup, looks, close, crypt, if I armdir media crypt, and then I run it again, hopefully it all works and it prints out the hello world at the end. There you go.
Nice.
It works. And that's the basic idea. So this is
So what,
just,
you combine that with like presence of the device?
yeah, ideally I would like it so that I could just plug it in, and then CFEngine would be responsive to like the output of LS block, or maybe even like a UDEV rule or something like that. I know we're kind of thinking about event-driven policy, so it, you know, it could be like a, I don't know, like a notification somewhere in the system that could ping us that a new drive was entered or that was plugged in, and then I would check the UUID because, you know, I would know it's that actual physical hard drive, and then do all this work. Yeah.
So what about, did you, I mean, maybe it's not the case for unmounting. Just unplug and pray.
Yeah, so that's a little trickier, right? That's more like a human decision. Like the human has to tell the computer, hey, I'm gonna unplug you before you actually unplug it.
So I guess you just set a class that, like, I want this to be disconnected.
Yeah, and you can make like a command. It'd be like eject backup or something, and then that could just run a particular bundle with a particular class, and that way you could have all your things, kind of a literate document about how to deal with this stuff, all in your policy, and for, you know, reusing for other moments when you might want to do it automated.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
a nifty little use case.
Yeah, and I had made some more reports and things for all the various things, but you know, yeah, stuff. I'm pretty happy with it, really. Like I said, like the UUID thing, and then like you were just talking about, like what happens if you just plug it in. I couldn't. This was actually a need that I had, like personally. So because I kind of run my own cloud, so to speak, right? So I have my backups in my own network. There's a lot of other things you could probably use the secrets for. I know I had one person ask us about you know, like rendering INI files with secrets inside them. I guess, you know, they had some application that had secrets in the INI files, and so that would be a pretty good application of this as well. To keep the secrets secret until the last very moment that you need to render them for the application, I guess. So
cool.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Struggling to think. I mean, so all right, so this is like a USB drive, right?
Yes.
All right, so it's plugged into this one PC, but I know that you like to play with lots of different hardware and change out laptops very frequently. So so what about like that? Like, okay, well, I'm gonna plug it into this other laptop. Like, what do you think you would change to support that?
Yeah, I mean, well, what I would do is you can encrypt the passphrase to multiple host keys. So what I had done recently, actually, I used to have 2 hard drives plugged into my open WRT Wi-Fi router. And so I had one encrypted drive and one not encrypted drive. And I didn't like having those on that more kind of public host and kind of more unknown to me. I can't really manage the software on OpenWRT because I don't have CFEngine on there, although I was working on that.
They've got CFEngine as part of their build.
What, OpenWRT?
Maybe it was DDWRT.
Yeah, I don't think they do because I was definitely working on making a package for that, and it wasn't there already in their repository. It might be on some, like, a lot of people make their own repositories of things for OpenWRT, so maybe it's out there somewhere. Anyway, but yeah, that would be an option. It's just like you could, if you have CFEngine agent or a hub, it doesn't matter which, they all have host keys, and so you can encrypt to whatever host key you want to, and yeah, you can just automatically mount it up there. My use case is kind of, I keep this backup drive on one machine that I keep running most of the time, and then all my other machines I do like a process of like backing up and restoring and syncing Git repos for my dot files and the journal and things like that, so that I can move from computer to computer, and on my shell it all feels the same. So yeah, I'd definitely like to see some other applications of using the secrets, CF secret, and yeah, it feels really comfortable coming from writing lots of little scripts to, you know, use Mutt with email and the password store, the GNU password store, to keep passwords. So it feels very familiar and similar. Nice command line tool. CF secret is.
It might be interesting to look at a plugin for pass that would encrypt them in CF secret, because then you could use some of the other pass tooling to manage multiple secrets.
Right, to like keep your Git history revisions and stuff like that as they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be interesting to go both ways with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome, man. That's
cool.
Good times.
Yeah. So yeah, so like over here, this encrypted, let's see, this is the CFBS stuff. So yeah, I added this as the encrypted backup drive, and then it pulls all the stuff out of that directory. And then in the output, I believe it's services, CFBS, home, and yeah, so the files are there. Looks like I made a weird file there. That's the old one, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I had a few other things that I put in the one that I had developed, like all these reports, you know, of the various states, and then also printing out the contents of the file. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's I don't have any other questions about it. Super pretty clear and straightforward.
Right on. I'll reinitialize
Restore the secret.
Secrecy of intro to using what?
Luke's closed your slide.
Luke's closed my slide, promised.
Nice.
Cool.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take care.